Hello, everybody. Welcome to Long Bangers in association with Leeds Spirits. I'm Matty.
Hiya, I'm Colin.
Colin, how are you? How's your weekend been? Have you managed to avoid all the storm drama?
More or less. I was out twice yesterday. Dropped my daughter at work, picked her up for work because the buses decided they couldn't work. So that was that. And seen two big Hibs defeats over the weekend. My daughter's team
There's
and the team yesterday.
a nightmare it was. I had on the drive up to Dundee yesterday. So the boy was on his way to the Hibs game. The boy crashed his car on the motorway just in front of me. So I'd stopped to make sure he was all right. So I don't know if he's a listener or not. If you're a listener,
Was
hope
Hibs
you got
fan?
born again. So he spun out on the motorway. I just missed him, but because I saw it happen, I just pulled into the hard shoulder and just go out to just obviously check the boy was all right.
Hmm.
He got his car, he was on the phone to his insurance, and he actually shouted and says, "Oh, I'm just on my way to the game," because I had
Uh,
my hip stop on. So I says, "Kerry, you all right?" Made sure he was fine. He was fine, and then I went to get on the way, and I got stuck in the snow on the hard shoulder for a bit as well. I was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
lovely.
Couldn't move the car. It was like I had to rocket kind of back and forward to get it going.
Oh, a nightmare.
So
Did
I
boy
hope
know for a push, nah? If the unit to check he's alright, he never thought he'd come over
he
and push
listen.
him.
That boy would have been in shock after what had happened. Like I was fine. I managed to figure it out myself anyway. But I kind of, on the one hand, I was hoping he made it to the game in the end. But then, having watched the game, I hope he didn't. Like
I'm
it would
fucking
have been
glad.
a
You'd
double
obviously
whammy
said
for him.
you'd obviously said you were to come up, and I was like, thought about it, but I did say early in the week, nah, I'm not going to bother because I knew I was up early this morning and that, and I'm not enjoying it now. I'm not enjoying it now. And I think it was 10 minutes in last night. I was like, oh, I should have went because I thought, oh, come on to that soon, eh? But fuck me, what a fucking mess after that.
Aye. Uh, right. Let's start with the team lineup. Right. So we're live on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to stick some comments in the comment section if you want to kind of contribute some points, and we'll discuss them. We've got talking points to Twitter to catch up on as well. But Colin, we'll start with the team lineup, and this raised a few eyebrows yesterday when it was released. So Bursic in goals, O'Hara, Yuan, Newell, Chris Cadden, Nicky Cadden, Jordan Abita, Chiantis, Campbell, Rocky, and Kukovic. On the bench with Smith, Miller, Levitt, Boyle, Iredale, Kwon, Hoylett, Gale, and Molotnikov. The team selection didn't go down well online. If you read the comments, it was kind of quite a what the fuck type reaction. Lots of kind of comments about Grace trying to get himself sacked. That was quite a common theme as well. What did you think when you saw it?
To be honest, it's the same names all the time, eh? I wasn't really that surprised. I think what surprised people was Campbell and Ekpiteta not being in, but it looks like, well, I thought he was maybe ill, but somebody saying today he's out for a few weeks, so I'm not
He
sure.
had like a thigh strain or something. I think
Because
was was a chat.
the TV preview said that there'd been a bit of illness, so I assumed that's why he was out. So it was just my assumption. But other than that, I mean, the back four's the back four, eh? You know,
Hmm.
like Rocky's in for Ekpiteta, and um, I expected Nicky Cadden to come in after him playing like that. So I think it's just Campbell that people are surprised with. I think.
I thought Rocky didn't do himself any harm when he'd come on against St Mirren. And I think there was some surprise that Levitt didn't feature for the start as well after he had
Uh,
quite a good showing against St Mirren as well. I have to say, like, this is terrible. I'd forgotten about Josh Campbell. Came when I saw him in the team. I actually
mm.
didn't register at first when I had my first sort of scan over it. And then I was like, how come everybody's so pissed off at this? And then I looked back and I was like, oh, geez, Campbell's in there as well.
Yeah.
And it was a weird one because he's not been close to starting for weeks and weeks now, eh? Um, and I don't know if that was, a message to Quan really to say like you're not getting in, but I think what it says to Levitt, who had
I
a good
think
game last time.
that's the sort of randomness at the moment, though, isn't it? It's like I'm just looking trying to expand this to see the bench again. But like some of the subs we spoke about on previous podcasts where Iredale maybe came on before Rocky, but then Rocky starts the next time before Iredale
Aye.
off the bench, that kind of thing, or Doyle Hayes starts and then Mariah Welsh gets it off the bench, and or it wasn't he starts, but they've come on the pitch before Levitt,
Yeah.
and then it just seems a wee bit like there's. I think I said that there's no pecking order. Like nobody cares what the pecking order is. There is. your first sort of 10 that always get picked, and then after that, it's just a bit of I'll just see who's closest to me at the time.
Aye,
Like my
almost
old man used to always say to me if I was on the bench, just if you're playing up a different sport, but if you're on the bench, just if you're warming up, just warm up near the coaches, warm up so they can see you, keep in the right
aye.
line so
My
they
old
don't
man
forget
used to
you.
tell me that as well. Aye.
It's a wee bit like that, eh? It's like who's closest to me? I stick him on. Oh, I don't know. It's just a bit random at the moment.
It's well, we got into the game and actually had a great start when you think about it. We had off to a flyer, but the game was delayed for 10 minutes because of the fog. And actually, I didn't see the goal. Kind of, it was the fog was that bad at that end when we actually scored. It was only the reaction of everybody
Yeah.
around the bit that I was like, "Fucking hell, we've scored!" I had no clue who had scored or how the ball had gone in. I've seen it since, like so. You'll have had a better view than me, Colin. What did you make of the goal?
I can't remember it. I've totally blocked out. Cadden scored that. I remember Cadden sort of flicked it in, didn't they? I can't remember the build up, to be honest with you. I've not watched it back since
So
I've seen it last night.
it came down the left hand side. Yuan played in. Obita had a low cross into the box, and Karen just kind of passed it into the net. It was
Aye.
a good finish, to
It was
be
a nice
fair.
finish. I remember the
Aye.
finish. I just didn't remember the bit before
Mm,
it. Cadden scored. I thought he was deserving of his starting place last night. And that's what I was going to say when we started, like 10 minutes in, and I never said it out loud. I was in the house, there's three of us watching it, and I thought, like, the ball had come in, Garavich had got an end of a cross and hit the side net and wet and stuff. There was like another
mhm.
chance. I was like, we could win quite comfortably tonight. That's what my head was saying. I'm thinking,
Aye.
we could have a wee 3-0 here tonight. And then we just had an individual mistake and just fuck it earlier this week than normal. But,
Mhm.
if you've got a day when you may as well get in early, eh?
Aye, well, let's talk about it. So Abita takes a heavy touch at the halfway line. There's no real, like, it's not a dangerous position or anything. Takes a heavy touch, and then he's just late into the guy. I think it's definitely a red card. Like in
Eh?
this stage, I think he really gets anything on the ball.
Not missed it. No, it's
It's
100% red card. Like, I mean, we'd be screaming for it, so we can't do it. We can only blame Obita. It's a because it's not even like you're saying he's chasing his own poor touch. So he's taking
mhm,
a poor touch and he's dived in. There's no danger. It's on the halfway line. It's not like he's taking a poor touch and somebody's in 1-on-1 with the keeper and he's just lunging to try and get himself out of the hole. It's just let the boy have it and just like shadow him.
mhm.
Then just that. It's like amateur stuff, eh? It's like the mistakes are so amateurish. They're not even. I I can't even describe. I don't care what the fuck they're up to. Again, it's like that's the second one of the season after the penalty. They're into 2 and 3 each mistakes now.
Mhm.
The outfield players.
Aye, and the problem with Abita is we've not got a left back to cover him. I mean, you're looking at
Eh?
Iredale coming in, but Iredale's a left-sided centre half,
He
and
dropped Cadden back there last night, which
well,
then totally detracted for his game because
aye.
we've seen what he's good at again in St Mirren previously and in the first 10 minutes yesterday. And then it's like chuck him back the left back and then go, right, fuck you, off you come.
With mentally. What about there was a bit of flack directed to Ellie Yuan for his keep you uppies where the red card incident was going on. I'll be honest, I'll get your thoughts on this a wee second. When I first heard about it, I was like, so fucking what? Like, is it keep you up? Big deal. And then it was Marvin Bartley talking about it, explaining why he was annoyed about it. And like,
Uh,
Ken, there's a game we played here. Get organised. Like, you've just had a man sent off. What's your job now?
mhm.
And I think that criticism is not just at Yuan though, because all the rest of the team did the same thing.
Well,
They just never fucked about with the ball to draw attention to themselves, not doing anything. The rest of them were always culpable. Was Yuan, and actually just made me annoyed at all of them, and Yuan for drawing attention to it. But I think it just shows you like the teams just know they're not engaged at the moment. With when something goes wrong, so
I
they
don't
don't
know, a
care how
team.
to react to it.
Uh,
What did you think? Was Yuan out of order?
So I was watching on the telly and I had the Hibs TV commentary on, not Premier at that point, right? Because I put Premier on and there was this fucking clown on before the game. Um,
Fan air.
Hibs fans chief or something. So I thought, fuck watching this shit. So I put Hibs TV on and I watched it and I seen him do it. But I genuinely never thought fuck all of it, right? But then I seen obviously stuff came in my group to one of the group chats I'm in, and it's because Mickey Stewart's highlighted it. and that's what set folk off. And then Marvin's obviously have a pop as well. But then I've watched it back because like my daughter's messaged me and that's saying, "What do you think of this?" And I'm going, "What's the rest of them doing though?" Like nobody is doing fuck all. So it's like somebody
That's my
should be
point. Eh?
digging them out. I know. It's exactly the point I was going to make because I'm looking at it going, well, the only one that's actually doing anything is Josh Campbell, who's arguing with a Dundee player like to say it wasn't a red card. Is that benefiting us? Is that finding out where he should be? Is that finding out where the change of formation is? And nobody's doing anything. Nobody even looks unhappy about the sending off. Everyone's just standing about. I know he's doing standing about, but keeping the ball up. But they're all doing fuck all. They're all of them. There's nobody doing anything. So why are we picking one person out? Don't know. And I wonder if Mikey Stewart hadn't said anything during the game. Well, but Marvin Bartley said it as well, so maybe it would have been picked
Aye.
up on.
I think it's one of these ones. Once he's drawn the attention to it, then folk are going to comment. But
It's not what cost us a game.
I mean, no, nowhere near it. I think it's just that
He's an easy target. Like he gets hammered all the time, the boy.
But you wonder if it's just like that's like symptomatic of where the team is at the moment, because we absolutely folded. Like we've started brilliantly, like you say. We looked like at one point we were on for a good score in our favour, and as soon as that red card happened, the game was over. You could have just give them the 3 points. We'll all fuck off down the road.
I think you messaged me at 1-1 as soon as the equaliser went in, and that's it fucked.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember if it was 1-0 or 2-1, but it was early in the game that you went, that's it's fucked. I really hope that even with it, I knew it was going to be hard, but could they pull together? Could it be the making of them pulling out a good result, even if it was a draw, down to 10 men for 80 minutes? But nah, just fucking capitulate to an absolute doing. But part of my defence of them has been, we're close, we're not getting beat, we're not getting hammered. That was a fucking hammering, the biggest hammering of the season, more than that St Mirren one. At the start, which is the same difference in goals, but it felt more of a doing.
Do you know? So I was coming out the ground and chatting to folk on the way out, and teams go down to 10 men all the time, and it's not automatic. Oh, you've
Usually
lost a man, you've lost the. Usually is, but it doesn't always play out that you lose a man and you lose the game. Like there's loads of teams go down to 10 men and then dig out a result, or they keep the performance going, or sometimes they even fucking win a game. We never do it. We go to the 10 men and just go, that's us, game over, we're fucked. And it was embarrassing. Like the 3 goals that we conceded. So the first one, pure touch for Cadden, the ball just gets swung across. Cadden's first touch and it just softens it into the path of the Dundee player. Who then skins him and puts it across.
I was just going to say, it's not just the poor touch, it's then the recovery. It's like the boy just goes around him as if he's not there. And then Triantis, I think, did the ball tracking his man. Like, how hard is it for a midfielder to track their man? We've got midfielders just drifting off boys all the time. A defensive midfielder, a 6. The 6 we wanted, we chased all summer. Can he do his fucking... That's his job. That is about his job. That is about the sum of his job. Anything extra he does in the Barrett Kelly, they're all fucking in the bonus column. Tracking his man like that is what he's got to do 10 times out of 10.
Aye,
it's fucking unbelievable.
Dundee hit the bar, then they get a corner, it comes in, Chantis scores their own goal. You watch that back in the tail, it's fucking everything. What you're saying, how a professional footballer heads the ball with the back of his head into his own goal for a corner, I do not know. It's like he's turned his back on it.
Like, did he get the OG? Did he get credit? Did he?
It come off. It came off him, and it just summed up a night when the third goal goes in, and the keeper. I mean, keeper has a go at Ardell for it.
I know, what a fucking cheek. I just watched that back on Twitter actually. Somebody posted on Twitter the goal and Mikey Stewart's commentary, which obviously never heard at the time. And the ball goes back to him. He takes the touch, which is like a heavier touch than I see in the under 15 girls team. And he goes, and you hear Mikey Stewart going, "Oh no," because he's seen how bad the touch is right away. He's not blaming Iredale or anybody else. He's just seen the goalie as fuck this. It's fucking terrible.
By that point, David Gray had rolled the dice. He'd taken off the 2 Caddens and put on Iredale and Lewis Miller try and shore things up a wee bit. But I mean, I thought he left it too late to make changes anyway, and I'm not convinced those are the changes he should have made. They definitely didn't seem to improve things. Second half, Dundee were really comfortable. They're 3-1 up. They didn't have to do anything. We had a wee bit more of the ball until Rocky has a brain fart in injury time, and then we're 4-1 down, and that's it.
That's Rocky just reminding everybody why he wasn't in the team. You know, there's been growing sort of get Rocky back. He's good apart from the odd mistake. The odd mistake is too frequent, which is why he's not in the team. Which is why it's another one that should be on the list. To go.
We bumped into the folk that sit next to me at the home games, standing outside the entrance to get in, and we were talking about Rocky and Rocky being in the team. So Rocky can be a really good defender for 99% of the game, but then he has that 1% when he does something like that. And it happens a lot with Rocky.
But it's no 1% then, eh? Because it happens a lot.
Of the match. Do you know, like...
Aye, but it happens a lot.
Aye.
So, I would say that percentage is higher than the 1% because it happens too frequently. They would bring that. But we're getting into statistics and maths here.
Aye. So what I'm thinking, a 90-minute game, right? And his mistake is less than a minute.
Right.
So percentage-wise, like that, right?
Right. Okay.
Aye. But it just played out. Like, if you could have subbed Rocky after 75 minutes in every game, you'd probably be fine.
But he might make the mistake in the first 75. It's not always the last bit he makes. He's got to make his mistake.
This is true.
But you could say that about, like, that seems harsh, right? You're not Rocky because Rocky's done it. Rocky's been there 2 seasons and been doing this that frequently for that long. We've got players now in this. There's somebody doing it. Somebody else doing it.
Aye. Obita, Cad, and Giannis, we've already, and Bursic, we've already mentioned, have all had the
yesterday.
Same. Aye.
The week before, O'Hara. You can go through them all. Like, there's nobody, and that's what, like, I spoke to my brother-in-law a couple of times since the game, and he a couple of times he's mentioned fucking Yuan, and I went, how, we can't single Yuan out? They're all fucking shit.
All doing it.
I can't think of who to exclude for the criticism. And I said that yesterday to you, I think, sorry, but I think I said to you yesterday at half-time, that goal, I would have waited to half-time, I would have said, right, to Bursic, right, that's you done. Just pack your bags now, just get yourself home for Christmas, and we'll send you back in January to your home club. Stick my number 2 in, I would have subbed somebody else. I don't care who it would have been, right? Somebody else. I didn't really thought about it enough. I would have left myself one sub and I would have went, right, it's the next fucking mistake, you're off. And then I think I would have just started taking them off one by one. I went, just now we'll play with 9 men, 8 men. Every time, just show everybody. Listen, I've said to them, fucking stop making mistakes. They can't stop doing it. They're coming off and then just fucking no play them the next week. You know, I can't see what else you can do. It's fucking embarrassing.
I suppose at that point you'd beat anyway, but as well just fucking
humiliating. It's fucking ridiculous.
It was really toxic in the stands. Understandable. Folk had gone to, I mean, particularly yesterday with the weather, folk had gone to great lengths to get to the game, leaving early, battling through motorways covered in snow or trains and all the rest of it to get there. This was a week, if you remember us talking in the previous, where Martin Boyle, Joe Newell, Cadden, talking about doing it for the gaffer, turning up, like, we've got to run through walls, like, there's a chance to kickstart the season. Again, another fucking week and another shit show of performance. If that is the players playing for the manager, how bad a fucking team are they if they were going to chuck it?
Yeah, I know. It's hard because, was it 11 to 12 minutes he got sent off? We actually looked all right. But the sending off should have then galvanised them more rather than, but it's like they've got they're just so fragile, eh? Mm-hmm. Just like, heads down, fuck that, this will nah. Because then even when Boyle comes on, he's shooting when he shouldn't shoot. You know, it's all about him rather than about the team.
Aye.
You know, it's like, what are you shooting for? Fucking pass. Again, it's like, oh man, it's that I can't defend them like anymore. You can't defend them. I feel fucking dreadful for David Gray. I'm not saying he's totally blameless, like, here, don't get me wrong, but they boys have fucking let him do massively, like.
Mm-hmm. Every week.
Because, like, we've said before, right? And I didn't care if we're going to change your mind now, but on paper, there's names on that bit of paper that a lot of teams in your league would take. Right? You even heard, well, you wouldn't have heard, but Doherty before the game yesterday. Hibs are a good team. Again, it's false position, blah blah blah. Not really anymore, eh? Like these boys just didn't perform season after season, and we all blame the manager all the time. But it's the player, like the players, which then goes into the recruitment. But it can't have been all the manager's fault. Can he have been all their fault?
I revised I reckon 5. I think you could take 5 out of our team, and most teams outside Rangers and Celtic and Hearts for obvious reasons would take 5 players for their squad. But I would revise that now. I think teams are looking at us and going,
easy 3 points.
Easy 3 points, and there is maybe an argument a different manager would be able to get more out of these players, but
I wonder what manager it is though, because we've tried a few now, and none of them have managed it.
I don't know. Right, let's we'll get some comments from YouTube and then we'll go to the Twitter comments. Mikey Paget said, "All right, guys, yesterday was a shit show. Sir David Gay not turning this around anytime soon." Stephen Nicholson said the best bit of last night was seeing Matty smashing it on the box. At least he didn't get sent off and fuck it up. I did my best. Like I knew, like if any early swearing or that, I would have been straight off. So
I just assumed you had sworn they'd cut all that bit out because the wee bit that I left in. I assumed there must have been more than that.
But nah, we did 2 takes. The first take last is a wee bit about Stormbert, and then the producer said no time for that shite. Just get right to the football, and then that was it. We were.
Should have just talked about the bit of the fucking storm.
I know it would be better. Chris Black said questions need asked for Gray. Why does he persist with Bursick and the mad selections? So on that call, you sort of mentioned he's running out of players to pick from. Do you think that's what's behind the selections?
Some of them, but I mean the goalie. We've got 3 goalies in the squad, and one of the Boric has been in and out a couple of times over the last 2 seasons. But the boy Smith, we've signed him in the summer. We've not played him yet, apart from against Kelty in pre-season and that. But he's not played. Folk have written him off because he's not played many games. He's a fucking goalie. That's his job. Like he's not. It doesn't say I'm a number 2 goalie. I'm a goalie. He'll want to play. He must be sitting there going, "How the fuck am I not getting a start? This cunt makes mistakes all the time." Must be. He must be going home to his wife, partner, parents, whatever, and going, "Fuck knows." Like when his old man phones him, nah, didn't he go? They go on. I know I saw the goalie made a cunt yet. I know. But again, because you just look at it and you go, what does he need to do? For his point of view, I picked him in my predicted lineup this week because I thought enough's enough, and then he's done it again. Like it's not like he's even. I don't know. I'm not saying he's the worst goalie we've ever had yet because I've seen that there's that getting thrown about now because I've still got my worst ever goalie ahead of him. But he's pushing it. He is. He's probably one mistake in a derby away for taking the title.
Jason Ladd said Lennon would keep us up. In my opinion, Chris Black said, "Are the players deliberately chucking it?" Gray spoke about this after the game. He says the players are behind me, and you can see that for the effort that they put in. And he was referencing the sort of second half performance. Is that almost a bigger worry? And I know I kind of sort of made that point earlier on to say like how shite would we be if the players didn't like him, but I can't mind if we talked about it on the preview show and asked the question like if we had a bad defeat against Dundee or we didn't play well. Would that mean that the players weren't behind David Gray, or is it just because we're shite? And I suppose that's the question. And which of the two is it? Because I don't think it can be. Well, I mean, it can be both. They could be no with them and also shite. But I don't think a good team who's behind their manager capitulates like that.
No, you've got to verge on it because I think they must be behind them, the players. I don't. You've no heard. Nobody started the rumours yet about the dressing room revolts and all that. That's normally here by now when we're trying to get a manager sacked. So I've not heard them. So I would, and he's saying that the players are saying it. I can't no lie in that, but you know what I mean. I believe it. So that then does lean me towards they either didn't understand what they're being asked to do, or they're not capable of doing it.
Okay. Ron Allen said, since I started watching Hibs in 1971, I don't think I've watched a team constantly playing with, oh shit, we've lost the game attitude, no fight, no leaders on the park. The leadership one is another. it's like almost another stick to beat Gray with, because if you think
Mm.
back to the summer recruitment and all the chat was about O'Hora was captain at his old club, Ekpateta was captain for like at least for a bit at Blackpool.
Yeah.
Boyle's, senior player now, he's going to have this leadership role. Newell's obviously given the captaincy. Even Josh Campbell was getting talked up as having to be a leader, and there's none of it. Like,
My biggest, the biggest signing I wanted in the summer, we never got, which was a midfielder that can control the game. I was saying like and I'm not saying Callum McGregor, but in the form of Callum McGregor, that takes the pace of a game, can speed it up, can slow it down, is the obvious leader of the team. But we didn't bother signing one.
mm-hmm.
Didn't even look like we were linked with one. Here we are, eh? Still not got one.
Yeah.
We've got
Andrew
senior
S.
players. We've got senior players, but we've not got anybody that appears to. I mean, even John Newell. Like, I like John Newell, right? And he's been on here. He's a nice guy, and I've bumped into him elsewhere, and he's a nice guy. The fucking bookings he gets every week, they're not even for like tackles. Kevin, we used to talk about David Gray when he was a leader. He wouldn't be fucking all shouty. He would just go and smash somebody. Right,
Aye.
fucking follow me. This is the standard. This one's for like being over a second late to a ball and just like tripping a boy up. It's like fucking stupid bookings. Somebody he's suspended now, which I don't think many folk will be complaining about. But he's suspended for Tuesday now. Again, like he was just back for a suspension the other week. It's like he's just constantly getting booked or sendings off because he's silly tackles, not because he. It's not exactly Roy Keane we're talking here. It's for fucking flying in.
They're no crowd rousing tackles
No.
or game changing ones. They're just like fucking. Aye, I totally agree. Right, Andrew S. said, why do academy players not get a chance? Is our academy failing to develop good enough players, or do our managers show no faith in the youth? Why? Remember the excitement of Mowbray Collins days? I reckon the now, right? My take on that is that it's not the right environment to chuck the young players in. Although they might thrive in it, I think the now it's fucking toxic. You'd have a player going in if they weren't brilliant immediately. Folk would be fucking asking questions, and I didn't think the managers are in a position to either. Unfortunately, I think if we were tooting along quite nicely in a good position in the league, we would probably see many young players coming through. Dave
But we've
Thompson
not
says,
got many. Sorry, we've not got many. It's like we had that under-19 team that got to the quarterfinals of the European thing, and that there's one left.
do you know what's scandalous about that is we fucking bought a development team. Like they invested heavily in a development team a couple of years back, and so you would think by now we should be seeing a couple of them fucking coming through into the first team. It just shows what a monumental fuck up that was.
I mean,
Great
the boys will all
idea.
be. They must all be 2021 now. Like so, so if they're not in the first team, they're not going to need me. Maybe the goalie might, because the goalies can be later and all that. But like we've got Milontikov, who was like the youngster in that team. He was young for that team.
Yeah.
But all the other ones that all looked good, and I've spoke about a few of them on here, Aitken and the McIntyres, and well, you had O'Connor, you had the laddie Laidlaw, they all of them. Megwa was decent. No. If they're half decent, they get put away on loan to the Championship, just to be forgotten about soon enough, and then never come back.
Mm-hmm. Dave Thompson says, afternoon, what a cave-in. Cup thrown at the keeper, lines being crossed. There was stuff getting thrown at the players going off at half time, I think, or maybe just after that third goal had gone in. I can't quite remember the timeline. You obviously didn't want to be seeing that. What I would say was folk were furious at the team yesterday. Absolutely furious at them. And with fairly good reason. Not that we would condone chucking stuff, right? Obviously, shouldn't be doing that, but that sums up with the relationship with the players and the team or and the fans at the moment. I just think there's any connection there at all just now. Kieran Gallagher says, Ewan has started 4 games this year. I think other players are more of a problem than our most productive player. I think that's a cracking point, Kieran. Jane Sandy said, Bursick reminds me of the Leeds goalie Gary Sprake. He once threw the ball in his own net when he was trying to throw it out to his own player. Is rubbish.
You see that boy on Twitter this morning in one of the lower leagues in England, the goalie.
Amazing.
He just pinged it in his own top corner.
Like, a tight angle as well, eh?
I don't know where he was trying, if he was trying to get his foot round it and whip it out to right back. Or what are we trying to do? Just fucking. But that's why they're in goals. Like
Aye.
we need to remember this. Like stop fucking passing the ball back to them. They're in goals for a reason.
Where do we get to? I've just skipped forward. There's loads of comments on here. We'll get through these and we'll get into the Twitter ones. Uh, where are we? Right? Yeah, MS said Gordon needs to make a decision, sack everyone and beg for Bill Foley's help to make some credible appointments or sell up and fuck off. They're the only two options. Anything else will end in disaster. Right, I suppose we're at that almost at that crossroads, and I don't know whether this is like an extra time topic or whether we just spend a wee bit of time talking about it now, Call. But I've said it before. This is an expensive time coming up for the Gordons because either sack the management team and hire another one, and we can't do that on the cheap. The next manager has got to be fucking right, and they need all the help they can get to hire him, or they have to spend big in January to back David Gray, or whoever's coming in. So if they sack Gray now, you've got another manager is going to have December before the January window to see whether or not they can get a tune out of these players, and then you know how much you're going to have to spend in January. But they're probably going to need some surgery there anyway, or they do nothing and risk getting relegated, which is looking increasingly more likely about each passing week. So, what do you do if you're Ian Gordon, Kit Gordon, and you're sitting down to discuss what your next steps are?
Uh-huh.
What are you doing?
I'd be speaking to the football department. So Malky Mackay, I've put Malky Mackay in charge there, and I'd be asking the Black Knight guy people to be sitting and saying, "Oh, what the fuck do I do here?
Mm-hmm.
This is costing me more money than I can afford or want to afford. Maybe more likely. What the fuck? How do we get out of this hole? Like this was what because obviously they've said. I say obviously, what they've said was we're going to bin all these players next summer, and the surgery will be then. This is just a temporary holding position. Well, the temporary holding position's not good enough. So do you just say we're going to start at 6 months early and we start getting the players in January, although January is notoriously a difficult window and blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
I dropped into football speak there. But, you know, do you do that or what's the... You would need to take the football expertise here rather than try to be an egomaniac about it and bash on like, well, what you think's right? Because I think it's proven, right? We've probably enough data in our ranks now to say that you've not got the fucking knowledge to make these decisions. Somebody that does have knowledge needs to make the decisions. So go and ask the people that you think are the experts. But then you've got to say, well, is he the right man to decide who the fucking experts are? It does make you wonder though about is the Black Knights there? I mean, like everybody's kind of going in all in on the Black Knights. Ian Gordon picked the Black Knights. Mm-hmm. Like, who's to say that was the right option? The options that were there at that time as well.
Aye, well, there is that.
Like, if you're questioning his decision making and all of that, like, who's to say that's the right one? We're just got to go all in and say, right, guys, use this fucking run us now. Are they good? I don't know. Just hope.
Keith O'Flaherty says, what worries me along with everything you guys have said so far is the fact Grace says his players are giving him everything. If that's them giving everything and just relegate us now, Oscar Wilde Outdoors, I wonder what's behind that name, said David Gray is way out of his depth. Ewan Ferguson said Bursick doing the for fuck's sake lads at his defence at his own mistake, get him hooked and all. Jane Sanders, relegation is not an option. Something has to give. Stephen Lumsden says, I can't remember seeing a poorer keeper in Bursick, and we've seen some proper howlers. I have to say, Colin, I'm erring towards Aki's up there with Zibby. Like, I think we're in that territory because it's just about everything.
It's in the moment though, so it feels worse. I think you would need to look back and get all the. I can't remember. I just remember the big Zibby ones.
Zibby made some saves, so.
So did he made a save last night? He made a save at Ibrox, so you're forgetting me. That's what I mean. It's like he's made saves as well. So in 10 years' time, when we've got another goalie that's chucked a couple in, and we're going, he's the worst of our goalie. We're going, no, I mind Bursick, but we'll forget about the saves he made.
Aye, fair enough. Jason's said Gray should have had Ardale on at the red for Campbell. Pish. I think how Campbell saw it the 90 minutes, and they harm to Josh Campbell, but I suppose you could say that about every player in that team. Like, I got to half time, I'm going, there's not one fucking player in there that I can pass marks to.
Correct. Correct, and that's what
not
my
even
wife went.
close.
She just went last night. Fuck it, I'm not watching this show. I went upstairs to watch Neighbours, right? Or Home and Away or something. And I was like, I sat down here with my daughter watching it, like saying, I've got a podcast in the morning, I need to watch it. But I was like, these fuckers, and my daughter's trying to defend them, and that she's still young, can try to defend them, and I'm going, no, you can't defend them. They're fucking indefensible. But she was going to the point, but if you're just criticising them, it's going to affect them, and they've got to then be overthinking things and blah 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 because she's thinking, well, about herself, and I'm going, aye, I get that, but I'm just saying it to use in the house. These guys, they're fucking hopeless. I'm saying it now to everybody, but you know what I mean. It's like they're fucking. You can't defend them. Like they can't be defended anymore. Like you just can't. There's nobody. You can't even go, oh, but he had a good game. He was trying. He was, you know what? Nicky Cadden got subbed early, first, like got the embarrassed one. And you think,
Aye.
that's actually a wee bit harsh. Like, he's
At
been
least
all right.
At least he scored, aye.
Right. Other than that, you're going, what the fuck? There's nobody. Like, I can't get anybody a pat on the back here and say, right, you tried. You tried your best. No, they might have tried. They might have tried, right? Or they're not good enough. It's what I don't know. It didn't look. It looked like they just gave up after the sending off.
It's a hard thing to describe. That I think the players try. There.
You like to think they do because that's their job and that's what they're meant to do, and they've got professional pride and all that. But it doesn't come across like that.
They say it's the worst thing you can say about a player is if you
that's spitting on somebody. That's spitting on somebody.
No, that's the worst thing you can do.
Oh, right.
Aye, you can. Worst thing you can do is spit on them, but the worst thing you can say about them is that they're trying.
Right.
I think that's the rules. They're too far away to spit. Right, I wouldn't do that anyway. But it's hard when you look at it and you say, right, if there's effort there, what's going wrong? Because I refuse to believe they're as bad as they're showing. But who knows? Kieran Gallagher said Gray has got to go now before the fans really turn on him. Just go as a legend and not the guy who relegated Hibs. Do you think Gray would take the decision out the board's hand and just resign?
I was having this conversation earlier with Darren and actually Charlie, my brother-in-law, as well, saying, I don't know if he can afford to walk, right? But I think I'd rather he did, like, rather than be sacked. I think he would just say, you know what, this is a fucking shit show. Like, this is a fucking shambles. These cunts, look at them. Look at the mistakes they're making. I'm fucking out of here. But then does that harm his future getting a job somewhere else? That sort of smearing shite on the was when you were out, saying it wasn't my fault, you'd get criticised for that. But resigning would be more of a, you know what, like, this is too much for me at this time because of them. As much as it is because I'm inexperienced, or I'm too inexperienced to handle a group of players that can't take an instruction or learn from the mistakes. But as much as they're no bad money, well, he's been at Hibs for the last 10 years. Like, I'm pretty sure he's no multi-millionaire, like, so.
Aye, to put the feet up for the rest of his days.
Aye, he's not doing that, is he? He's got to have to get another job, and he's got the bills to pay, so he probably would need the 3-6 months payoff he would get, whatever it is. I don't know what the terms of contracts are, but if he just walks, he walks. He doesn't get a bolt.
Ian Tockle said, "Hey, someone said to me they're like blue collar boxers, great until someone lands a punch," which is fair. It's like what was the Tyson says? Everybody's got a plan till they get a punch in them at the face. Yeah. It's kind of what we're like. Kieran said again, it's a crime that Chris Cadden plays for Hibs. He can't run, he can't tackle, he can't cross, he can't block crosses, and guaranteed to cost you goals. Ian said, "Is it a bird?"
Apart from that, though,
is Captain Invisible. Jason says the first Dundee goal was the only one Dundee scored that we didn't throw in for him. I actually think we did throw it in, and I think the boys put a crossfield pass that's come straight to a Hibs player, and Cadden's laid it off for the Dundee winger.
I should have just smashed it away. If you're not confident you're going to be able to control that, just header it or fucking volley it up the park.
Get it safe. Ian says tell players they wanted, then keep them on as mainstay players, then expect them to turn up. We have to absolutely must get players in during the January window and try to get up to 9th at least, if that's possible at all. Keith says, what's Sam Allardyce up to these days? Right, here's a question. Right? Robert Hanley says, what more can Gray do? These players are simply not up to scratch. Is it the case that it's simply the fact that the manager's all right, but the players are so bad that nobody would get a tune out of them?
Well, I'm not sure. I think he should get more out of them, and I think the last manager should have got more out of them, and they've not managed it. So then you're going, well, is it then the case that they are uncoachable, like, or is it the case we've had two managers that haven't been able to do it? Or are the players just not good enough? I don't think the players aren't good enough. I think they're not getting motivated to
Mm-hmm.
in the right way. Like, and I don't know why or how. Because you didn't see that. You just hear they talk the talk, hey, they just don't walk it. But isn't it just like this is two managers in a row that we've been saying that they just need to make like that's they players
Yeah,
individually and on
yeah.
paper look okay. The manager just needs to coach them better. Two of them have failed.
It's a worry as well when you look at the recruitment and the number of players. And I'm sure there was an article doing the rounds that said we'd signed something like 80 players over the last however many years. Look at that team last night: Josh Campbell, Joe Newell, Chris Cadden, Rocky, Ellie Yuan. That's five. Am I missing anybody?
And it
Five
started
for
last night.
11 that started last night. I think have all been at the club longer than a year. Chanis was obviously their last season.
Kajevich has been here before.
Bukovic has been there before. You've got Boyle, Levitt on the bench as well
Yeah.
that came on.
Aye, all the new players did he play?
It's like a damning indictment of the recruitment, but also these players that are coming on and are still playing that have been there for years and years, they've been replaced. Like the players have come in to replace them. So you're going, these are players that we've acknowledged, aren't they, what we're wanting going
Yep.
forward, and yet we're having to rely on them. Jack C99 says, "Do you and Colin think Hibs can stay up?"
Aye, I do. I do. We're a point off. We're a point off the second bottom, like with the game in hand, obviously. So yes, I do. I don't. We're not cut adrift. But as the weeks go on, it gets harder and harder to say that. But then Hearts keep getting beat as well. So we're not. I think the answer is yes. I do.
Mm-hmm. I, I think
Do
we
you?
need. I think we need intervention to stay up.
Right.
If nothing changes and we carry on with the same players, same coaching staff, I think we're fucked. Like I genuinely do. I think the last two games are where the panic is properly set in for me because
Mm-hmm.
neither St Mirren or Dundee are great shakes. Like I mean, St Mirren beat Aberdeen yesterday. They're not a bad team, but they're not brilliant either.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you look at like St Mirren's got like Gogic and it wasn't good enough for Hibs and all the rest of it. Dundee, again, Dundee, we looked at their stats in the previous show and conceded more than us. They scored that much more than us. Their form wasn't really much better than ours. They hammered us. Like both of these teams fucking hammered us in games that were must win for us. Like
Yeah.
both of those games were huge for us to get off the table, and we're shooting ourselves in the foot, coming up short. And it's no a one off. This is a trend for the whole season. So I think unless there's intervention, and that might not be changing the manager, that might be keeping him and then fucking going. No matter how much it costs, but he's 3 or 4 players in that
Mm.
are levels above what we've been able to recruit so far, whether that
Yeah.
they come from Black Knight or whether Foley puts his hand in his pocket or Ian Gordon puts his hand in his pocket, however they fucking do it, they need to make that intervention. If things carry on as they are, we are. I would say we are favourites to go down, and justifiably because I don't see the fight that you see in other teams
Aye.
have us. Even like St Johnstone, who have been shite forever. I mean, they beat Kilmarnock yesterday. They're pulling me results like that out of the bag. The
Aye.
only result we've got this season that we've won is against St Johnstone when they sacked Levine.
Yeah.
Um,
That is it though, and that's where when we talk about lapses of concentration and individual mistakes, it's almost the fight at the end. That is the fight that we lack. We have lacked all season. Like even was it Aberdeen? I was watching an Aberdeen game and they were winning, and obviously because they've won most games, but they were fucking throwing bodies at the ball, and I think they were like 2-0 up. It wasn't like they let a goal and it was 2-1. We still won the game. They were chucking bodies at the ball. We've just not been doing that. Ekpiteta's the only one maybe that I've seen do that.
See, I know that I'll use them as a benchmark because they're having a shite season as us. But Hearts against Celtic yesterday, there was Kuhn's goal.
Uh-huh.
If you watch it back, you look at the effort the 3 or 4 Hearts players are making to get back. Like, so they're all caught out of position. They've obviously made mistakes, and no painting them as like an example of like what good looks like. But you look at the effort that they make to get back, and they're all diving in to try and block the ball. There's like 3 or 4 of them slide in at the same time to try and block the shot because they managed to get back kind of fairly close.
Did
to
the manager?
Nah, they didn't.
No.
But
Oh, that's a shame.
But no, I'm fucking delighted.
But they tried to.
But they tried to. But it's just like when they've got that, and we've got the goalie fucking losing the ball in the box way, or
the funny thing is, though, right? I know exactly what you mean. I was just thinking there over back to the goalie mistake, right? And he's like pointing the finger and shouting and blaming. Folk say that's like sign of leadership as well.
I shouting at folk. Aye.
It clearly isn't he? Like he's just made a total fucking mess of it and he's trying to pass the buck. Because he must know that's his fucking time up.
Nigel Wood says, in any other organisation, the board would be sacked for such poor performance. The Gordons are condoning our performance by not making the necessary changes at board level. It's business 101. Now, I think there's merit in this, right? So you obviously have the obvious targets. So Ben Kensel was getting it for the fans last night. Ian Gordon was getting it for the fans. Malcolm Mackay was getting it for the fans. But there's other board members in there, including 2 for the Black Knights as well, that are all accountable for this. Like they're all running the club. Like that's their duty is to do the best for the club. And we're a fucking shambles. Somebody needs to look at it. Like who's questioning the role of the chairman? Like what's Malcolm McPherson bringing to the table? And then you go below him. So Ben, Malky, Leslie Robb, the other ones that are on the board that I'm not going to look up to find out there. But
so we've got quite a lot on the board, eh?
But there is. It's a big board. And I just think like the club is on every fucking measure just now failing. Like it's awful and getting worse. These people are responsible for it. There has to be a spotlight on them. There has to be folks saying, "The fuck are you doing?" And Ian Gordon is the majority shareholder. Needs to be sort of assessing everything and going, right, have I got the right folk in here that are helping out? Are the folk who are giving me advice the right people would be giving me advice, or are they taking me down a road that's going to ruin the football club that I'm responsible for? AHFC said these players are in fact as bad as they're showing. Everyone at the club is as bad as they're showing, from the racist director of football to the LinkedIn merchant CEO and the moronic owner. What a mess. Chris Stewart said some of these players are worse than the ones we had last time we went down. The goalie's up there with the worst we've had, and Newell is not a captain. And Jason is definitely worse than the 98 team that went down, but we waited too long to sack Duffy there. That's. I mean, this is the. I was thinking about see the statement that Hibs put out was that just last week?
Aye, last Monday, just a week ago. 6 days ago.
6 days ago, and it's going into the international break. You almost think they reacted because of the reaction to.
Oh no, it's only 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. It was Monday after we got beat for St Mirren. They almost would have been better keeping their powder dry because they kind of did it really like without looking even worse than they already look. Like they kind of sacked David Gray in the morning because they'll go fucking last week, 10 days ago you gave him a vote of confidence and then that's one game in. And now folk are looking at there's 3 games really like and there's that one. There's Aberdeen on Tuesday and then we're away at Motherwell at the weekend. And depending on where it is after those 3, it's like. They had this indefinite. Well, folk need to do better, and it's no silence to anything. Yeah. Like folk are still talking about sacking Gray, questioning his future, still questioning the board. That statement has served absolutely zero purpose whatsoever, other than to give folk like us something to talk about for a week when there wasn't football. It's stupid, but again, that's just like reflective of the decision making at the club. Anyway, it's fucking a shambles.
Yeah.
Right, we've got time, I think, for a couple of Twitter comments, Colin. I think we might have.
Was that all YouTube comments?
That was all YouTube. Was it? And I skipped a couple that would sort of had more or less covered through the conversation. Anyway, so Neil Waters said, "Rinse and repeat. Another chuck the towel in when things get tough. Decision making when under pressure is terrible. Game management abysmal. just continually throwing games in a different way to the previous one. I can't see how Gray stays, but players throwing him under a bus. Bikes, beer and coffee said, after that, I'm just glad I don't have a gas oven. Yep, know the feeling. Right, I should come back to that point with the statement and Neil's point there about there'd be no way back for Gray. Gray's going to get sacked, right? It's inevitable now. I didn't think when you put performances in like we've seen the last couple of weeks, there's any way back for a manager. What value is there in prolonging it?
As face saving, probably for the board, hoping that he can win a couple of games so that I don't know. I don't know if there's value in it. After putting the statement, like you say, putting the statement out, to almost shut the rumours up, so we didn't have another 2 weeks of rumour. But then instead of rumour, it's went for rumour to speculation. Like, will he get 2 games? Will he get 3 games? How many games will he be there at Christmas? You know, nobody ever went, oh well, he's not getting sacked then. Like as I've said a couple of times on various things that we've done. I think it's just face saving because they've done the statement 2 weeks tomorrow. One game, folk would say, you give him a vote of confidence, one game. But what did they give Monty? 2 or 3? When they gave him
the 3, I think. I think
it was Aberdeen doing
after the third defeat. Mm-hmm.
And we got Aberdeen humiliated us at the Easter Road. And that was the end of it. Aye, it was the third game after the split, that wasn't it? Now it left them with 2 games. Aye, I'd like him to say, fuck, he's like, you know, he's a fucking. I suppose he put his hand up for the job and he kind of made it. Well, it appeared at the time he made it like, give me the job this time, or you never fucking give me it.
Aye.
He should have probably, on reflection, he should have probably let somebody else come in and take the heat when, with the way the club were positioning it, and it was, this is going to be a shite season. We're not signing anybody because we're releasing all these other boys that we didn't want. You know that though, right? Like, and by the way, I'm on board with that. Like, I would include the boys that are starting last night and the who's going as well. Like, let's just start from scratch. But we need to start from scratch in January rather than wait to the summer, I think, because we need to actually start building a squad. In January, you can't wait till July and have to sign 20 players. But we've got boys on the books, like, and I'm not saying these are the saviours, right? But Mariah Welsh and Amos and that. Now, I've hardly seen them. They've hardly played. Like, is it not just like, just fucking play them now? Because, like, can they be that bad?
Aye. I just think it's an interesting one. I was thinking that when I was coming out of the game last night, because we both advocated giving great time. Like, and actually, like, I'm not going to lead the charge to get him sacked. Like, and I genuinely am. The guy's a club legend. I don't care how fucking sentimental that makes me and how annoyed folk will get at me for.
What's annoyed me is how early folk have went after him. Now we're getting into 13, 14 games. It's starting to get a point you're going, fucking hell, man. When's it changing? But 8 games in, it was too early. But the noise started early, so the noise is quite heightened in it. And if we could have if we could have played our game in hand and got a point or 2 in it, we wouldn't be bottom of the league, and Hearts would still be below us. I think, and I know that means folk will say that means fuck all. It does, like, there's less noise. We see it. There's less noise. We get less noise when we're above Hearts in the league. I think that would have changed things a wee bit. But 8 games in was too early. But now he's nearly had another 8 since then, And we're like, and it's actually getting worse. The last 2 games have been worse.
They have, and I think that's what my thought was when coming out. Is that he's effectively a dead man walking, right? In terms of the job. So why string it out? Like, what's going to change between now and Saturday? Do you know, like the team's not going to all of a sudden start playing better. Like, we're not going to start digging out results for fucking nowhere. Like, we've seen what this team is. We know what we're getting. I don't want him to be sacked. Like, I love the guy. Do you know, he's club legend. Give us the best day ever. And it's sad that we're in this nick, but you're like, it's worse for him to string out as well. You see him like walking off the park at the end of the game yesterday, and it's a kind of clap to the fans, but you can see in his face he's got, for fuck's sake, he's raging. He's obviously hurting. He comes out in the press without fail. He takes responsibility for it. He's obviously hurting. He kens the expectations at the club and all the rest of it. Just back in. I didn't get the value in making him do that over and over again. It has real potential to be a Syrian on Tuesday night. And what's that going to be like for him? And what's it going to be like for us as a crowd and for the players? Something needs to give soon. Of course, he could win it. He could turn it around. Right, that possibility exists as well, and that's kind of what we're all hoping happens. But I just can't see it. Ross Paget said we had 18 points at this stage the season we went down under Butcher, and Livingston had 10 points at this stage last season. Sort of
Who was bottom at this point last season? It wasn't Livingston, was it?
I'm not sure. I don't know if they'd hit bottom by now, because when this came up before
2 or 3 games ago.
Aye. Right, a couple of minutes left. We'll get the last couple of talking points, and I think, Colin, we're going to have to take some of these into extra time. Them on. Jack C99 said, "I'll give talking points. It's time Gordon's and Kensal and the board and players who aren't interested to get the boot week after week. And as a content creator and matchday vlogger, seen from my own eyes since the first home league game season, were relegation material." So Jack's looking for change for top for bottom. Chris says, "Will a defeat on Tuesday bring the shit show to an end, or will we wait till after the Motherwell game? This is getting scary. I'm already looking at who Hearts are playing so that we don't get cut adrift." I think that's pretty much what we've just been saying, Chris. And wait, this last point. Harkis Consultancy Group said, "At what point do we collectively as a fan base say enough is enough and actually do something about this? We have people with little to no experience, others with made up qualifications or none, in complex and important roles. This cannot and shouldn't be allowed to happen." I noticed the Block 7 posted something. They'd put tagged the wall behind I think it was behind the Dunbar end with sack the board. There was a lot of ire aimed at the board, at Kensal and Ian Gordon at the game yesterday as well. Are we approaching a point where there is a need for fans to mobilise and start pressuring for change?
What is that, like protesting?
I don't know. I mean, like if you look back to the days like hands off Hibs or hands on Hibs, it has happened. It's happened in different ways. You also have like I suppose a more collaborative thing with like working together back in the day as well, which was born out of fans getting off their ass to force change at the club. So there's ways and means of doing it. It could be protests, it could be whatever. But do you think we are at that point where enough is enough?
I think if we lose a goal, if we go a goal down on Tuesday night, there'll be a in stadium protest. I'd imagine that'll start. It'll start then, and I hope it's no. I hope it's not about David Gray. You know what I mean? I hope it is about the board, because it's them that have put us in this mess, and it's them that's put David Gray in this position. And I would say that I'm not just trying to defend David Gray, right? I'm not saying he's totally blameless here. He's inexperienced. He was allowed to bring an experienced coaching team in. I've said that before as well. It's not getting better. The players can't take on his instructions or won't take on his instruction, or his instructions aren't good enough. Don't know what one it is. But he's been put in this position by various mistakes over the last 5-6 years. And they're the ones that need to start doing something different. They told us they were doing a review. They brought the Black Knights in. They brought a different director of football in, and then didn't listen to the Black Knights. Here we fucking are. You know what I mean? Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. It's actually, if anything's worse, because, well, the results are certainly worse. Well, this was the trajectory we were on. Like, if you take what we've not got now is my leader. If my leader was here, we might have drawn or won a couple of the games that have been narrow, because that's what happened last season. But we never bothered replacing him. Or maybe we did with Bowie, and he's got injured. But we don't know that. As easy as it was, you said that earlier. Look, he's played 60 minutes since he's been here, so like, it's a lot to place on a young guy's shoulders after 60 minutes. But we're definitely missing that, somebody to get those close games that we lost or drew. That's what we were missing, the leader, because that was a trade. And I don't want to hark about last season and all that, but this hasn't just started this season. This has been on the go since. Well, I mean, Lee Johnson they lost his first 3 games and he got sacked, but previous to that, he actually got us into Europe in that. The glory days, man.
Could you imagine? All right, that looks like a no bad place to end. I'm really sorry if we never got to your talking point either on Twitter or on YouTube. We do try to cover as many as we can in the time that we've got. If you're watching on YouTube and you're not already a subscriber on here, just do us a favour and click the wee button to subscribe. And you'll also see a wee link underneath the video where you can join as a YouTube member and get access to our subscriber content. If you want that on audio, you can go to our Patreon and sign up there as well for a couple of quid a month. Also, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for submitting the comments. We'll be back with extra time for our subscribers tomorrow night. And I think Colm also mentioned with Debbie preview show, didn't we? Like for the
Try pick a team. Fucking hell.
Sorry,
We'll start that now.
fucking hell, aye. So we will be live on YouTube briefly for about 20-25 minutes tomorrow night with the preview show, looking ahead to the Aberdeen game. And then we'll have our phone in on Thursday as well. We'd love to see you there for that. In the meantime, thanks for listening, and we will